If you're watching this video right now, chances are you've been dreaming about moving to Canada. Maybe you've been researching for months, maybe years. And if you're like most people, you've probably seen that CRS score requirement and thought to yourself, how on earth am I ever going to compete? Well, I'm about to share something with you that might just change everything. Canada has announced only 380,000 permanent residency spots for 2026. Yes, you heard that right. Just 380,000 spots for the entire world. But here's what most people don't know. There are 7 proven pathways to get your Canadian PR, even if your CRS score isn't sky high. And I'm going to walk you through every single one of them today. Welcome back to Canada Visa Desk, where we break down the complex world of Canadian immigration into simple, actionable steps that actually work. I'm here to give you the real information, the strategies that immigration consultants charge thousands of dollars for. And today, we're diving deep into the most important question of 2026. How do you secure one of those 380,000 spots when competition is fiercer than ever? Before we jump into these 7 pathways, let me tell you why this year is different. Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada has made it clear that they're focusing on quality over quantity. They want skilled workers, they want people who can contribute to the Canadian economy immediately, and they want individuals who are committed to making Canada their permanent home. The days of easy PR are behind us. But that doesn't mean your dream is impossible. It just means you need to be smarter about your approach. Let's start with pathway number 1, and this is one that many people overlook. Provincial nominee programs, specifically targeting provinces with lower CRS requirements. Now, you've probably heard about PNPs before, but what you might not know is that provinces like New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan are actively looking for immigrants, and their CRS requirements are significantly lower than the federal express entry draws. We're talking about scores in the 300s and sometimes even lower. New Brunswick, for example, has been conducting draws with CRS scores as low as 320 in certain streams. Compare that to the federal draws that often sit above 500, and you can see why this is a game changer. But here's the catch. You need to show genuine interest in settling in that province. This means researching job markets, understanding the local economy, and being prepared to actually live there for at least a few years. The best part? Once you get a provincial nomination, you get an automatic 600 points added to your CRS score, which essentially guarantees you an invitation to apply. Pathway number 2, the Canadian Experience class, but with a strategic twist. If you're currently in Canada on a work permit, or if you're thinking about coming to Canada on a work permit, this is your golden ticket. The Canadian Experience class requires just 1 year of skilled work experience in Canada. That's it. 1 year. But here's where most people make mistakes. They take any job just to get into Canada, without thinking about their NOC code, without considering whether that experience will actually count toward their PR application. You need to be working in a NOC Tier 0, 1, 2, or 3 position. That means management, professional, technical, or skilled trade positions. If you're working in retail, hospitality, or general labor, that experience won't count. So before you accept that job offer, before you apply for that work permit, make absolutely sure that the position qualifies. I've seen too many people waste years working in Canada only to realize their job doesn't count toward PR. Now let's talk about pathway number 3. The Federal Skilled Trades Program. This is probably the most underutilized pathway to Canadian PR, and I honestly don't understand why. Canada is desperate for skilled tradespeople. We're talking about electricians, plumbers, welders, carpenters, heavy equipment operators, industrial mechanics, and so many more. The CRS scores for skilled trades are consistently lower than other programs because there's less competition. If you have experience in a skilled trade, if you have certifications, if you've been working with your hands and building things, this could be your fastest route to PR. You don't even need a job offer if you have a certificate of qualification from a Canadian province or territory, and even if you don't have that certificate yet, many provinces will help you get certified once you arrive. The earning potential in skilled trades in Canada is incredible too. We're talking about $70,000 to $100,000 a year or more in many trades, especially in provinces like Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia. Pathway number 4. Study in Canada strategically and leverage the post-graduation work permit. Now, I know what you're thinking. Studying in Canada is expensive, and you're right, it is. But hear me out. If you study in the right program, in the right province, with the right strategy, this could be your most reliable path to PR. Here's how it works. You come to Canada on a study permit, you complete a program that's at least 2 years long, and then you get a 3-year post-graduation work permit. During those 3 years, you're gaining Canadian work experience, you're improving your English or French, you're building a professional network, and you're earning points toward your CRS score. But the key is choosing the right program. Don't just pick any college or any program. Look at programs that are in demand in Canada. Technology, healthcare, engineering, business analytics, supply chain management. These are fields where you'll find jobs immediately after graduation. And here's a bonus tip. If you study in a province that has specific immigration streams for international graduates, like Ontario, British Columbia, or Quebec, you could qualify for provincial nomination even before you finish your work permit. Let's move to pathway number 5. Improve your language scores aggressively. I cannot stress this enough. Your language test results, whether it's IELTS, CELPIP, or TF for French, can make or break your PR application. The difference between CLB 7 and CLB 9 in English could be 50 to 100 CRS points. That's massive. Most people take their language test once, get an average score, and just accept it. Don't do that. Treat your language preparation like a full-time job. Take professional classes. Practice every single day. Focus on your weak areas. If speaking is your weakness, find a language partner and practice for an hour every day. If writing is your problem, write essays and get them corrected by professionals. The return on investment here is incredible. Spending $500 on a good preparation course could be the difference between getting PR and waiting another 5 years. And if you're really serious, consider learning French. Canada gives massive bonus points for French proficiency, and with French, you can access unique immigration programs in Quebec and federal programs that favor bilingual candidates. Pathway number 6. Target Atlantic Canada through the Atlantic Immigration Program. This program was made permanent recently, and it's one of the most accessible routes to Canadian PR right now. The Atlantic provinces, that's New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland and Labrador, need workers desperately. The population is aging, young people are moving to bigger cities, and local businesses are struggling to find employees. The Atlantic Immigration Program allows you to get PR faster with lower requirements than most other programs. You need a job offer from a designated employer in one of these provinces, but the CRS score requirements are much lower, and in many cases, you don't even go through express entry at all. It's a separate application stream. The best part? The cost of living in Atlantic Canada is significantly lower than Toronto or Vancouver. You can buy a house, raise a family, and live comfortably on a middle-class income. And contrary to what people think, there are jobs in technology, healthcare, education, and many other professional fields in cities like Halifax, Moncton, and St. John's. And finally, pathway number 7, get a valid job offer with an LMIA or through an LMIA-exempt program. A job offer supported by a labor market impact assessment can add 50 to 200 points to your CRS score depending on the position. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Getting an LMIA-approved job offer is not easy. Canadian employers need to prove that they couldn't find a Canadian citizen or permanent resident to do the job before they can hire you. But it's not impossible. Companies in industries with severe labor shortages, technology companies, engineering firms, healthcare facilities, they're getting LMIAs approved regularly. You need to be strategic about this. Target companies that have a history of hiring international workers. Look at job boards specifically for LMIA-approved positions. Network on LinkedIn with recruiters who specialize in immigration hiring. And consider LMIA-exempt options like intra-company transfers if you're working for a multinational company. Some trade agreements, like CUSMA, also provide LMIA exemptions for certain professional categories. Now, let me be completely honest with you. None of these pathways is going to be easy. With only 380,000 spots available for the entire world, competition is going to be intense. You're competing against hundreds of thousands of people who want the same thing you want. But here's what I want you to understand. Most people give up too early. Most people try one pathway, face rejection or difficulty, and they quit. The people who succeed in getting Canadian PR are the ones who are persistent, who are strategic, who are willing to invest time and money into improving their profile, and who don't give up after the first setback. So what should you do right now, today, after watching this video? First, assess where you stand. Calculate your CRS score honestly. Understand your strengths and weaknesses. Second, choose the pathway that makes the most sense for your situation. If you're young and can afford to study, consider the study route. If you have work experience in a skilled trade, focus on the Federal Skilled Trades Program. If you can learn French, start today. Third, make a timeline. Immigration doesn't happen overnight. It might take you 2 years, 3 years, maybe even 5 years. But if you have a clear plan and you're making progress every month, you will get there. And remember, Canada needs immigrants. Despite the reduced numbers for 2026, Canada's economy depends on immigration. The birth rate is low, the population is aging, and without immigrants, the economy would collapse. You're not asking for a favor by applying for PR. You're offering your skills, your education, your hard work, and your commitment to building a better life in Canada while contributing to Canadian society. That's valuable. You're valuable. Before I let you go, I want you to do me a favor. If this video helped you, if you learned something new, if you feel more hopeful about your Canadian PR journey, hit that like button. It helps us reach more people who need this information. Subscribe to Canada Visa Desk if you haven't already, because we post new videos every week breaking down Canadian immigration news, providing detailed guides on different programs, and sharing success stories from people just like you who made their dreams come true. And most importantly, drop a comment below telling me which pathway you're going to focus on. Are you going to improve your language scores? Are you considering Atlantic Canada? Are you going to apply for a study permit? Let me know, and I'll do my best to respond to as many comments as I can with personalized advice. Your Canadian dream is possible. Yes, the competition is tough. Yes, the requirements are strict. But with the right strategy, with persistence, and with the information I'm sharing with you on this channel, you can be one of those 380,000 people who get their PR in 2026. So don't give up. Keep learning, keep improving, and keep pushing forward. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, keep working toward your Canadian dream. This is Canada Visa Desk, signing off.